Good morning, friends. I'm Jamie from Crunchy Hippie Mama. I decided to go with the messy hair look today. Hope you don't mind. Today we are going to talk about things that we no longer buy to save money and live frugally. So come along and I'll tell you the top 12 things the Crunchy Hippie Mama family no longer buys. Hi there, friends. Let's talk about the top 12 things the Crunchy Hippie family no longer buys so that we can be frugal and help beat this inflation. By being frugal, we are also being crunchy. We are protecting our homes, our families, and our environments from the addition of unnecessary plastics and chemicals and, of course, unnecessary waste. I don't know if you knew, but America wastes massive amounts of food every day. So what is the number one thing that we don't buy to be frugal? Laundry softeners or fabric dryer sheets, I guess is what they're called. I don't even know. We do use some wool dryer balls when needed, but honestly, we don't even use those very often. We're also working on reducing the actual use of our dryer because it is quite the energy suck to run the dryer all the time. The number two thing that we no longer buy is cleaning products. And I have that whole video I'll link below about how we make cleaning products and clean my house with things like vinegar, baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, lemon juice, and lemon vinegar. It's cheap. It's things we already have. I'm not wasting money on chemical-filled, artificial fragranced, toxic cleaning products. I'm not spending extra money on so-called natural or higher quality cleaning products. I'm just using what we already have to keep our house nice and clean. The number three thing that we no longer buy to be frugal is skincare. Now, as I have hit middle-aged, it's so weird to say that, I'm 46, and I have not worn makeup other than maybe a bit of mascara that I purchased when I started doing YouTube in at least a year. I also do not buy expensive skin regimen products or anything along those lines. I have started using our Tallow Balm, which again, I have a video I made about how we make that, and our whole family will use that. And I even use it on my face and such. So I do not waste money on expensive skincare products. Number four, store-bought bread. Regular store-bought bread is already expensive these days. It's really hard to find anything cheap. And even, the cheapest or the highest quality typically have things like bromate in them, which is toxic and fills up your iodine receptors in your body. So then your body can't uptake enough iodine, which leads to other health conditions. I just recently watched a video with Dr. Ken Berry talking about exactly that. I'll also link him below so that you can have a look at how important iodine is and how things like bromate compete with iodine in our body. We are gluten-free, which means bread is even more expensive. So it is very rarely purchased. I eat low carb personally to help prevent type 2 diabetes that seems to run in my family. And I wear a Dexcom to help monitor where I'm at to make sure I'm staying healthy. Gluten-free bread can be as much as $7 a loaf. Maybe I shouldn't say as much as. It is as cheap as $7 a loaf. Like the cheapest I can find at Aldi or somewhere is now about $7 for one loaf of bread. We can make our bread using the Loopy with gluten-free white bread recipe lately with millet flour and sorghum. And that cost me about $2.70 a loaf. So if we want bread in the house, that is what I do. The first couple times it took longer. Now that I have it down and I know what I'm doing, it's a pretty quick process. I mix it up and I leave it to rise and then I put it in to bake. It does not take a considerable amount of time of actively being involved. The number five thing that we don't buy to save money and be frugal is ready-to-eat foods or frozen meals. Those things will really sap your budget fast. And being gluten-free, to buy gluten-free ready meals, one serving could be like $5. That is wild when I can feed our whole family a meal for between $5 and $10, depending on what we're making that day. So instead, we keep things prepped. We try to have a plan, and we keep things really basic. Like, it's quite common for us to have grilled meat with a side of rice and produce of some sort. The kids do love spaghetti. That's a pretty simple thing to put together. We use a gluten-free pasta that I always keep stocked in the pantry. And if I forget to prep ahead, which so many of us do, I can cook the ground beef from frozen and still have dinner on the table in about a half hour. That's not too bad. Prepping and planning is key to staying ahead and to being frugal. The number 6 thing we don't buy to be frugal is toys. Now, don't get me wrong, my kids have toys, but we really limit toys. We buy them for Christmas, birthdays. We don't buy them throughout the year. We don't even go to the toy aisle unless we have a very specific purpose. Now, I've raised 7 children. Our youngest is 7.5, and our oldest is 23 and about to get married. So we have a whole new venture on the horizon. So one of the things that I did or didn't do was I would not take our children to the toy aisle, and I never, not once in 23 years of parenting, gave in to a whining, crying child who needed a toy or object or candy or other junk in the store. That's just not how we roll. It saves us money, and it doesn't clutter our home with unnecessary things. The number 7 thing we don't buy to be frugal and maintain our budget is drinks. Now, I do have my coffee. I always have my coffee. It's my favorite. And my husband does have chai, which we make at home because it's a significant cost savings over purchasing those things at a drive-through or a walk-in cafe. So we don't buy things like juice or other drinks that, kids can just suck down wildly fast, and it just eats up your budget with empty calories. So very rarely we'll have a juice or something for a special meal, like having family over, a holiday, that kind of thing. But it's just not part of our day-to-day life. This saves us money, and it helps keep us from consuming empty calories and to focus our calories and our nutrition on quality foods that actually serve our bodies better. The number 8 thing we don't buy to be frugal. Now, this one might be controversial. We do not buy something just because it's on sale or clearance. It really doesn't matter how much money we are saving to buy an object if it's not something we actually need. This is hard for me because I grew up in extreme poverty, and sometimes we have the tendency to overbuy or to hoard things, so to speak, so that we have them for a rainy day. However, I've realized that the more I go into stores and the more I check those sale racks and clearance racks, the more I want to buy. But do we really need those items? Not likely. So I try to focus on intent and only buy something if we actually need it and will actively use it, not just for a rainy day. So that can be a big deal, but those clearance sales, shopping sales, garage sales, all those things can actually be a money suck really fast, and they can clutter your home up with unnecessary items. The number 9 thing that we no longer buy to be frugal, fast fashion. Now you might be saying, what is this? Fast fashion is the clothing that you're going to find in your retailers. It's the standard stuff you're going to find at the Targets and the Walmarts, that you're going to find on Amazon, that you're going to find at, I don't know, even stores anymore because I never go into them, Kohl's or whatever. So this is fashion that has been created to be cheap, but it is created in other countries, often at basic slave labor cost and quality. It comes with a high price socially and culturally because it impacts other people's ability to survive. But it also comes at a high price because we buy something cheap and it doesn't last. Then we have to replace it frequently and it ends up in the landfill. I don't know about you, but I don't like to throw money away. So I focus on less, but quality, and then doing what we can to extend the life of those products. So, for instance, my clothes, I wear only natural fibers. And this is a change I made about a year and a half now. I started purchasing merino wool clothing. This is actually wool, which you would never know. It's thin like a knit. The shirt underneath it's also wool. I do have a few organic cotton. And I still have a couple stragglers from my wardrobe before that are mostly cotton. I think I have a couple of skirts that are still other materials as well, but I'm not going to throw them away. When they wear out, they wear out. But I have about a 20-piece wardrobe these days, and it works just fine for us. So yes, I spend a little more to get the items, but I wear them day in and day out. I take care of them. I'm careful with my washing. I also have reduced my washing, which is valuable to save money and wear on our clothing. I can hand wash, I can spot wash, and it takes just a minute or two, and it saves a load of money and wear and tear on our clothing. Now, for the children's clothing, I limit how much we buy. They just don't have a lot, but they don't need a lot. I tend to get dresses for them from our favorite sewing ladies, is who we call them, Cece Moo. Those ladies make us adaptive clothing for Eliza, and they'll make matching dresses or tops for Julia. And then we pair them with leggings. I tend to buy a little bit big so they can wear them for a long time. They're high quality, it's strong material, and I don't feel bad about spending $25 or $30 on an item that they're going to wear for a year or longer. Hopefully, even longer. Okay, the number 10 item we do not buy to be frugal and save money, disposable products. Now, this includes things like paper plates and cups and plastic silverware, but it also includes things like paper towels and even toilet paper. Another controversial topic, right? So we have to rarely buy these. We keep a few in the basement for just in case, right? But it's very limited. As far as paper towels, we use washable items. We also get quite a few of those from the Sewing Cottage, our lovely sewing ladies who make paper towels and things that are similar. For toilet paper, I do buy some bamboo toilet paper, a higher quality, less toxic, and I'm okay spending the money on that because we use so much less because we installed inexpensive, like $30 bidets on our toilets, and then we also have some washable cloths, just damp, we keep them dry, for drying after using a bidet as needed. This is a much fresher way to stay clean, and it saves us money and it reduces what goes into the landfill. I have Eliza's feeding pump alarming. I'll be right back. Okay, friends, the number 11 thing that we don't buy to save money and be frugal are things like makeup, jewelry, and doodads. I just don't do it. We don't need them. Why clutter our house? Like I said in our previous one about skincare, I just don't wear makeup. So why waste money on those items? And the number 12 thing, this might be another hot topic for a lot of you. The number 12 thing we do not buy to save money and be frugal is fast food. Now, honestly, sometimes I live in a cave and I forget that the vast majority of America runs through fast food several times a week. And that is shocking to me. One, I don't know how you afford it. But two, I just wonder how you feel good at all if that is a big staple of your diet. Now, we do sometimes get food out, without a doubt. Everybody does that. But it is not a regular part of our life to run through and grab fast food. We don't run through McDonald's or Wendy's or whatever and grab burgers and fries. That's just not part of our life. We either eat at home or we try to be intentional about our choices of grabbing food out. Now, part of that is for health. Having celiac, we obviously can't just run through and grab food anywhere. So perhaps that's why this is a little bit easier for us. It does lead to some frustration when we're on trips or traveling and we have to be really intentional about our food preparation. However, if you sat down and looked at your bank statement for the last month and looked at all the amount you spent on fast food, my guess is it adds up to a couple $100. And that is money you could easily reduce and save. So friends, thanks for joining me today for the top 12 things we don't buy to be frugal and be budget friendly to beat inflation. Why don't you tell me in the comments below what you don't buy as a frugal family? And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. It'll help my YouTube video grow so that I can keep making more of these for you. Thanks for coming along today, friends. Blessings upon your day, and stay prepared.